Marvel fans, once again, it is me, Monty G here. It's time to do one of my thoughts on videos, and even though this is somewhat horror, but it's really not. But here we go. It is the latest entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or I should say the Spider-Man universe from Sony. It is called Morbius. Now, Morbius is a 2022 American superhero film. It was directed by Daniel Espinosa, written by Matt Samanza and Burke Sharpless, based upon the Marvel Comics character of the same name. The film stars Jared Leto, Matt Smith, Arjona, Jared Harris, and Tyrese Gibson. Now, in this film, biochemist Michael Morbius tries to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but he inadvertently affects himself with a form of vampirism instead. Oh no, not a vampire! Out of all the characters that Sony could have used in their Spider-Man universe, I am not surprised that they picked Morbius. Obviously, they wanted to follow in the success, maybe because of how Blade was, and they see how well Venom did, so they wanted to do something a little more off-central character, and I guess, hey, let's do Morbius. Now, known as a living vampire in Marvel Comics, Morbius was created in 1971 by comics writer Roy Thomas, and at the time was depicted as an enemy of the wall crawler. Now, while Morbius has most of the supernatural attributes of a vampire, he has superhuman strength, speed, and durability, and echolocation, but he doesn't have their vulnerabilities. Garlic, holy water, crucifixes, or silver has no effect on one. He does, however, has to drink human blood in order to sustain himself. Now, in the film, director Daniel Espinosa sticks mainly with the source material regarding Michael's backstory. Now, while living in Greece, Michael meets another boy named Lucian, who he renames Milo, and they bond over their shared blood illnesses. They have some type of rare blood disease, and they have to get some type of treatment, I think every 6 hours, and they too bond to that. 25 years later, Michael has become a brilliant biochemist, and while treating other people with sicknesses and create some type of synthetic blood, he's still looking a cure for his own blood disease. And unfortunately, he experiments with vampire bats, and that experiment goes terribly wrong, and Michael becomes something worse than he imagined. Now must seek a cure for himself before he hurts and kills other people. Oh, poor Michael. Now, as I stated before, the filmmakers stay close to the source material when it comes to Morbius. They really did a good job in portraying his backstory. They stick mostly to what he is. There are some other aspects that have changed to Michael Morbius throughout the years since the comics are concerned, but I'm glad as far as this is concerned, Daniel and the filmmakers here have done a good job of sticking to the source material of Morbius. Like I said, he is not a true vampire. He is called a living vampire. Now, Daniel, he does a good job in displaying Michael's powers, especially when it comes to using his echolocation. There are parts in the film where you can see how his ears change in format similar to a bat's, and you can see how it displays echolocation, some type of a bat sonar. Actually, bats, they use sound and bounce off of objects so they can see, especially during the dark. And I like how Daniel shows that visual display in most parts of the film. I thought that was very interesting. Now, you would think, as this being a vampire film, though it's not really a vampire film, this blood would have a lot of blood in it, but I'm guessing Sony was targeting teenagers. So to get that PG-13 rating, there's little to no blood in this film. Oh, we see it, but we really don't see anything. It's like almost just as bad as the Bye-Bye Man, where the guy shoots this person point blank range. Instead of seeing brains and blood, all we see is some green shit on the wall. Not to that aspect here, but still, it's like, come on, let's show some blood here. But Sony was too scared, so they wanted to stick with PG-13 rating. So even though Michael rips apart people, but we don't see the after effects of it, and it kind of disappoints people because when it comes to vampires, you want to see some blood. I mean, we do see some blood in The Lost Boys, so come on, let's show some blood. These are vampires, by the way. At least Jared Leto is great as Michael, as he gives the character of the emotions, fears, and moral fiber of a man who wants to do the right thing. He's a man who is desperately seeking the cure. He wants to help himself, and he wants to help his good friend Milo. Unfortunately, when he realizes what he has become, he does his darnest to make sure that Milo doesn't happen to him, and also it happens to nobody else. He does a great job in portraying that. And then Jared Leto, he's a great actor, and he does a good job in portraying Michael. Jared and Matt Smith, yes, the 11th Doctor, have great chemistry, as it seemed to be the yin and yang in this film. Their relationship is almost similar to what we have in other superhero films, like, say, even with I guess you could say with Captain America and Bucky, and especially in the Winter Soldier, and we see that great chemistry together. Eventually, we see what happens to Matt Smith character Milo, and I like that different contrast between the two, and they have great chemistry together. You could tell that Matt is having fun in the role because he takes full command in the scenes that he's in, and I thought he did a great job in portraying Milo. The main problem with this film, though, is the script, as the writers, Matt Semenza and Burke Sharpless, don't bring any type of life in the story. It's flat, it's useless, it's liftless. It doesn't bring any heart to the story you expect in a film like this. This is why many secondary characters, such as Bartine Barkov and Simon Schrob, have little or no impact in the film. It's really not the actor's fault, as both Adrena Arjona and Tyrese Gibson are okay in their roles, but the script really doesn't allow them any more than just people stand around and speak their lines. When you try to feel something for their characters, but Tyrese Gibson, he's there just to look tough, and Adrena's there just to look cute and be the, I guess, love interest for Michael. But there's no emotion tied to their roles. There's no lift to make their roles stand out more. And it should be no surprise, as Matt and Burke are the people who wrote for Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, and The Gods of Egypt, and we know how great those films are. But then again, I really can't speak because I haven't seen The Last Witch Hunter, but I've seen Dracula Untold, and while there has some good aspects in the film, and Luke Evans was great as of Lord Dracula, and the film was just flat, and the film is flat here, and I'm not going to even talk about The Gods of Egypt. Oh, God, you want to talk about a terrible film with crappy CGI effects. The CGI effects are crappy here, and I'll talk about that later, but in The Gods of Egypt, let's not even talk about the casting choices that they were made in that particular film, but the script was terrible as well. And I don't know what's up with these guys, but they certainly did not do enough to put any punch in this film. Another issue I have with the film is the third act, and while the vision regarding Morbius' ability to glide look cool, I mean, there is a part that we see in the trailers when he's gliding through the trains. That was a cool effect. I like that one, but unfortunately, when we get to the third act, it's a stringy CGI mess when he and Milo are fighting each other. It kind of reminds me of the CGI mess that happened during Venom and Riot's fight in the first Venom film, when it was such a stringy mess you can't really see anyone who's fighting. I mean, look, if you're going to have these two guys fighting as vampires, you want to at least have the audience see them vampires, not seeing a bunch of stringy mess where you can't even barely see the actors acting. Yeah, I know it's CGI. I know you want to make the fight look cool because the effects, like I said before, are cool, but you also want to see the people fighting. If they're going to continue with this, let's just hope they correct that mess just like they did in Venom Let There Be Carnage. At least they made the fight scenes between Venom and Carnage look better. But it's just terrible. No, I'm hearing a lot of people complaining what Sony has done with the film, showing something in the trailers and then showing something completely different in the film. I believe it mainly goes to the mid-scene credits and the post-scene credits in the film, because in the trailer, a certain actor appears, but we don't see him until the post-scene credits, and then after that, I mean, the mid-scene credits and then the post-scene credits, a lot of people didn't like that. I really didn't have a problem with it because, to be honest, he's not the main focal point of the story. I won't reveal who he is. I'm pretty sure if you've seen the film, you know who I'm talking about. It's better that they, for me, use him at the end of the film, because at least to me, that points to something to look forward to. So I really didn't have a problem with that. I also heard some people saying that this was the worst superhero film that they'd seen after I was leaving the theater, and I quickly reminded them that this isn't 2003's Daredevil film or Joe Schumacher's Batman and Robin. Now, I know some people do like that film, but to me, that's worse than this film right here. Now, to be honest, I believe this would have worked better if this were a Disney Plus series instead of a feature film, as the filmmakers could have done a better job at exploring the side characters better. Simon Straw character, he's a much more prominent figure in the comics, and I believe Tyrese Gibson said he signed on a 3-picture deal. So if they're going to continue this series, they're going to have to do a better of making him stand out more, because he's a much more better side character as far as Morbius is concerned in the comics than he is here. And also, I would hope they would do more with Bangkok's character, being what happens to her during the third act of the film, and hopefully they will bring out more of her here. As far as I am concerned, this is just my opinion. This isn't the worst superhero film, as we do get some decent acting between Jared and Matt. We have some nice visual at the beginning of the film, but it's mainly just the third script lacks any type of heart, and the third act is a CGI mess. If I were to rank Morbius, I'd probably give it 2.5, maybe close to three bloody gold coins. If this was a true horror film, I give it about a 2.5, maybe close to three. It's not the worst superhero film I've seen. There are plenty of other bad superhero films that we've seen throughout our times, not including obviously some of the DCEU films or some of the early Marvel films. It's like this. I mean, put it this way: as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of a little bit better than Spider-Man 3. Definitely better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you want to bring that up. Obviously better than the 2003 Daredevil. Obviously better than Batman and Robin. You know, there are some other terrible superhero films that we've seen in our lifetime. This is not a bad superhero film. Yes, they could have done a lot better with the act, with a little bit acting. The script could have been a lot of it better. They could have fleshed out the side characters more. But for people who were expecting something like the Batman or maybe the first Captain America movie or even Iron Man, he's not that character. You know, once again, people have to understand when you're looking at a side character like Morbius, just like with Blade. I know Blade was a great film, and that merely built upon the acting credibility of Wesley Snipes. And not citing Jared Leto here, it's just that that script was better written, and this one was not. So if anyone is the fault, it's the script in this film. It's just that's what ruined this film. But it's okay superhero film. It's not bad. So there you have it, Marvel fans. That is my review of Morbius. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share because it does help out with the algorithm. Also, if you have seen Morbius, please leave your comments and comments below and tell me what you thought about a film. And again, please do not spoil anything in the comments. If you are going to put any spoilers, please mark it on down, but please don't put any spoilers in it because I'm pretty sure not everyone has seen it. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.